With Hook 2.1 likely coming to servers in the near future, I want to talk about Roadhog. Specifically, who counters Roadhog. I've heard multiple people say things along the lines of Roadhog has no counters or he can't be killed. So I looked around Reddit and I found a post that will be linked in the description about Roadhog and all his counters and everything like that. So with that out of the way, let's look at all the counters to Roadhog. Let's break this down like hero by hero. Each one we're going to talk about for just a quick second. Reaper can go from 100 to 0 about 90% of the time from just his hook left click, and 100% of the time if he can land a melee before he races. So Reaper is honestly a really mixed bag because at lower levels he works really well, but once you get into people who know how to play the character, who know how to play Roadhog, he really isn't that great. Mei isn't exactly a counter, but she can usually survive getting hooked and ice block. Then she can try to freeze him or her team can focus him down. She's hard to 100 to 0 with just one hook left click because of that 250 health, but you can reliably do about 230 damage with that combo. So you're going to be sitting around 20 health and you have to really time everything right. If she doesn't have ice block or if she's taking a little bit of damage before you hook her, she's guaranteed dead unless Ana hits a sleep dart before the hook pulls her in. Or maybe she can throw her biotic grenade or something, but even that is an iffy thing. So you have to be careful with Mei. She can be a decent counter, or at least she can play against Roadhog decently well, but you have to have a team that knows what they're doing. You have to have a team that has good communication. Like I said, the biotic grenade, the sleep dart. I don't think the Harmony Orb will do it, and maybe, just maybe, his Amp It Up or Lucio's Amp It Up could do it, but I can't really say for certain. So Mei is kind of a mixed bag, just like Reaper, where she can do it, but you really do need a team that will help you out when you get hooked. Zarya was never a hard counter against Roadhog, but her bubbles do save lives, and that hasn't changed. She does feel a little bit weaker against Roadhog compared to some other characters, especially in direct combat. Hook and left click reliably does 350 damage to her, all but ensuring she dies unless she can bubble herself and her Ana is in a position to heal her as soon as possible. Like I said, the biotic grenade again, just like with Mercy. The reason Hook and left click does more damage to Zarya is because she's not only a bigger hitbox, so the pellets hit her more or anything like that, but she also has she's also like basically the same height as Roadhog's gun. If you guys were curious about the 230 to 350 leap and damage there, but if you can get a Zarya who knows what she's doing and can play Zarya really well, especially when she's going to go 1v1 versus a Roadhog, the best thing to do is wait for the hook to come out and then burst your bubble or hit your bubble then. Hit your bubble before the hook actually hits you and you'll get a decent amount of charge, but you'll also put that hook on cooldown, which is the biggest thing with Roadhog. Is getting that hook on cooldown sucks when you're in combat. No matter how many people you're going against, having that hook sucks because that hook again almost guarantees you a kill. That hook does guarantee you a kill to certain enemies like Tracer, like Genji, like possibly Reaper, probably McCree. People like that, the squishies in the game, it guarantees them a kill. So if you can get that Zarya bubble up right before that hook hits, you're going to not only bait his hook out, but you're also going to put that thing on cooldown, which is awesome for a person who is, I think the range on Zarya's laser is about 14 meters away. So you're going to be doing a lot more damage at that point than he'll be doing with his shotgun. So that's an excellent way to counter Roadhog if you're playing Zarya. D.va gets absolutely killed by Roadhog now in the PTR. She wasn't that great against him to begin with, but if you got hooked, you stood a decent chance of eating his second shot and flying away. With her armor nerf, which was kind of needed so she doesn't just destroy all DPS heroes, Roadhog can reliably do about 450 damage with his hook, left click, and melee to her because her head hitbox is so big. If Hog has any team to follow up and damage her during or after the hook, a right click while she flies away is usually enough to de-mech her, which sucks because at that point you're sitting with at least one Roadhog, possibly two, a Roadhog and another DPS maybe, as baby D.va, which really sucks. So D.va is honestly no place to do anything related to Roadhog at this point. D.va can't really control the situation anymore, and that really does suck for D.va. So she was not good in the first place, but she's even worse now. Pharah, well, yeah, she can usually stay at a hook range, but it's hard for her to out DPS Ana heals and Roadhog self heal. She has to deal with the Ana first, which is much easier said than done, especially if there's a soldier backing Ana up, or even a McCree, or a Widow. If you have someone who can really mess with Pharah. And Pharah is a very easy hero to counter. If you have someone who can really dispatch that Pharah, there's absolutely no reason to play her, but she's going to be absolutely useless taking out that Roadhog and Ana, especially because her concussion blast doesn't do anything to that, because as long as Ana is still in sight of Roadhog, she can totally still heal him, which is awesome, at least for Ana. So Pharah is not a great counter at all, especially if you have this combo set up on the other team. If you have an Ana and a Roadhog, it's definitely not a good idea. And even if you just have a Roadhog, Pharah is probably not the best counter for Roadhog. So what about Tracer? Well, if you can dodge the hook, she can take out Roadhog. However, that requires a very, very good Tracer and very good reflexes in my opinion. She's not going to be super reliable in any circumstance, even at the higher skill range. Roadhogs are definitely going to be a lot better, but so are Tracers, and it's really a toss-up up here. At the highest level, she can do well. At the very, very highest, Grandmaster area. But for the rest of us plebs, it's a lot easier for Hog to eventually land a hook on Tracer, right? And you have to realize that when there's a Tracer on the other team, Hog is definitely going to be the man for that job. He will get that Tracer. He'll eventually get her, and then guess what? Your team is a man down and a DPS down, actually, and that's even worse. So Hog and Tracer are definitely a toss-up here. Like I said, Tracer has to be really good. Just to be playing at a lower skill level. It's like Platinum and Silver, or, Master and Bronze kind of thing. You have to have a night and day difference, in my opinion, at least. I think the Tracer needs to be really good, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she doesn't need to be that good, but I think she needs to be able to predict when the hook's coming out. I think that's a huge skill you learn the more you play the game. So, what about McCree and or Soldier? Well, if they can stay safe either behind a Ryan shield or outside of hook range, they can definitely deal with him. Those aren't always possible, though. Hog is still one of the best at cracking a Ryan shield, so they won't be safe behind it for that long, maybe a maximum of a minute. And staying at long range isn't always an option depending on the map. I go to Lighting Tower, I can't remember, I think it's Garden, I don't know. There's a Lighting Tower map where he is really good on, and it's the one with the spear in the middle, I don't know, whatever. He's really good on that map, and this is the exact map I go to when I'm talking about this. Ryan is really good on this map, but Roadhog is even better. Roadhog will chew through that, and there's not a whole lot of fighting space in the middle there. And I feel like no matter where you go on that map, you're always going to be in hook range for Roadhog. So I definitely think that when you are playing Soldier McCree and you're trying to get that Roadhog counter going, you need to play on long range maps. Maybe Nepal, even though Nepal might be kind of small. Temple of Anubis might be pretty good, especially Point B. Maps like that are really good for that longer range combat. So I think that's where you need to play Soldier McCree to balance out the Roadhog and to counter the Roadhog. Not necessarily the smaller maps, because again, there's not a whole lot of space there. You need to stay at a hook range with these heroes. It seems like at the end of the day, the best counter to Roadhog is to have your own Roadhog and an Ana to boot. You can shut down his healing, and if your Roadhog can pull in their Roadhog, your team can secure the kill. Now, this is already how it kind of was, but it seems even more so with the new PTR changes. And to be completely honest here, Overwatch is a game where it feels like it's headed towards mirror comps being the easiest way to counter things. Ryan counters Ryan, Ana counters Ana, Roadhog counters Roadhog, etc. And that sucks. It really does, because when you have especially when you have heroes like Lucio and Reinhardt, people who are always going to be in the meta, it really does suck to have only one team comp that's viable, and I think this kind of stemmed from the sniper counters. Widow counters a Widow really well. Even Hanzo counters Hanzo really well. And that really does suck, but I think that as a whole, we need to kind of move away from this mirror counter thing and have a Lucio counter somebody, and have a Roadhog counter somebody, have someone counter Roadhog. We need to have stacked counters so you can get rid of the whole mirror comp thing. That's just my opinion. Big thanks to Barb331 for putting this out on the Overwatch subreddit and showing everyone the counters and what he thinks everything in the PTR was, because I agree with everything that's said here, which is why I made a video on it. I don't play the PTR a whole lot, but I do think that it's very important to kind of see where the game's going on the PTR. So anyway, thanks for that. Thanks to you, man. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did like the video, go ahead and like it. You guys dislike, go ahead and dislike, and go down in the comments below and tell me why you rate it like you did. And I'll see you guys in the next video.